Hey guys, Ben here from Velflex. Now I'm going to talk about pressing caps for you. We've been receiving a couple of phone calls here and there on the best way to actually hold a transfer in place when pressing it onto a curved surface, right? The reason being, if we take any of our Ultracolor Max or Ultracolor transfers, they don't have a stickiness on the back anymore. Not like the old digital transfers with the app tape, which when you stuck it down, it sort of held itself in place. These ones here are too easy to sort of slide around. Now, if you've got the experience and you know how to press, you can absolutely do it by just placing the transfer down and going for it. But if you're just starting out and you want some help making sure that your transfer is in place, I have just the trick for you. Now, guys, what we have is, this is our adhesive tape, okay? So it's blue in color, you can sort of see it. We've just got it on a tape dispenser like right here, but I'm gonna show you how to use this. And this is a sticky tape that is totally fine to go underneath the heat press. Don't use your standard home domestic sticky tape. It will melt under your heat press, okay? So this here is proper Thermo Tape. It's a Styles product and it's designed for holding transfers in place on garments. And you can do it on t-shirts like left chest and things like that, especially if you were placing it off press. But here on caps, it also works very well. So guys, I'm gonna take this cap here. It's a nice white one, and we've also got this logo I'm gonna show you right here. So cool, we've got the STX cap press right here. It's the auto cap or auto clamp. Okay, when you press it down, it's going to auto release when the time's up. Cool. The beauty of this particular press as well is you do have other size bases, okay? So this one here for doing small like bucket caps and things like that, items that have got a much smaller front to it, or kids caps. This one's the medium size, and then you've got a much broader one. So if you've got doing a bigger plate, or even if you're doing neck labels or doing, you know, sleeves and things like that, and you just wanted something that was small and curved, you can actually use the cap press for doing other garment sort of applications and things like that. We're going to use the medium one, which is the one that comes with a press by standard, okay, and we'll just slot it in just like that. Now it is free moving, so that the top and the bottom plate, when they come together, move into that perfect press. They're not held so that you don't get any high pressure points and things like that. It self-centers, okay? So that's designed to be a little bit loose so that it can self-center under the rigid top plate. Cool, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our cap, we're gonna fold the front out as we always do, okay? Making sure that we don't have that sweat band here up causing us any pressure issues. We're gonna pull it to the front just like that, and I'm also going to use the spring-loaded sort of hold here, and that pulls the back of the cap down so it's nice and taut, okay? And we just make sure that that cap sits on there nice and well, as flush as possible. Now, if we put this transfer here, right, and let's just say I was placing it right there, some people might be like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it straight or if it's gonna twist, or, you know, there's a bit of breeze around, right? So what we do is we take the sticky tape that we were just referring to, which is here, the Styles tape, and I'm just gonna take a strip about so long across and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use that for getting my placement, okay, and then just stick it in place. Okay, as you can see here now, this transfer is not going to be able to move under the press at all. I'm confident that it's going to be pressed in the exact spot that I've just stuck it into. Okay, now what I'm going to do, pull that down. We've got 10 seconds, 150 degrees. I've got 4 to 5 on the pressure as well, which is that moderate pressure. You might want a little bit more. It's popped up, cool. And then to peel it, what we need to do is just grab a corner. The tape will just lift up, and I'll just get that up. There we go. And quick peel. Actually, what we'll do, we're gonna let that cool down a little bit. Being a DTF transfer, it's not as instant. What we're gonna do, just let that cool, get a little bit of heat out of it, and then we'll be able to peel that. No problems whatsoever, just like that. Now, because I peeled that up, I'm gonna press it again, okay? Put it under the heat press for a few seconds. There we go. And oh, there we go, just like that, making sure that I've got the whole heat press area over the transfer pressed down. I've got all the edges, and also what I like for a transfer to do, see the seam here I want the transfer to push into that seam to make sure it's got a nice, real strong bond to both sides of the fabric and it's not bridging across, okay? If the transfer is not pressed down into the actual seam there, it's just straight bridged across, you'll find that it'll very easily crack there. But if you can get it so it pushes down into the seam, much stronger application and bond, and you'll find that it'll last a lot longer before you see any issues or deterioration. Guys, I want to show you another one as well. So take a second cap here. I'm going to do a second press, but what I want to show you here is this particular transfer has a lot of plastic around it. And what we want to do is make sure that we actually trim the plastic off the bottom of this so that we don't unnecessarily get movement of the plastic, right? So this is important, this transfer here, it's got about 12 mil down the bottom. I'm actually going to take it and just trim that off, okay? Just using a pair of scissors, that's gonna help you to make sure that this transfer doesn't sort of skew or anything like that. It's just a little bit easier to sit in place. We're gonna use the tape again to hold it there. So, cool. Peel the front out, make sure you take any cardboard out or anything like that. Again, pull your sweatband out. Use the clamp to hold it nice and taut, that way that our cap, and what we're trying to do there is make sure that we've got no creases up here, that's saying it's pulled as taut as possible. What you'll find, there will be just a little bit of air under here as the cap takes shape to the base plate, but what you want to make sure is that it's not too much, okay? If there's too much sponginess here, too much of a gap, you may find that the cap itself actually creases when it's heat pressed, okay? So this is about as much as I'd ever want, okay? It's not heaps, but it's about as much as I'd want. Any more than that, and I'd need to start looking at potentially building the area that I'm gonna press under the cap up, or using a different plate that fits the cap that you're using, okay? Not all caps are equal, some of them have different shapes to them, that sort of thing. So, but I'm happy with this particular one right now. All right, again, we're gonna take our transfer, cool. I'm gonna place it there just so it's easy. Take my tape, cool, over the top, okay? So now it's free like this, and I'm going to get it placed. Now, as you can see, there's gaps between the letters here, okay? So I'm gonna try to run that seam just in between the L and the F there. Now, as I look, I'm happy with that placement onto the front of the cap as well. It looks balanced, but also I've been able to miss the seam. That's a perfect outcome, okay? Cool, again, gonna press this down. Now 10 seconds, I've got a pressure of 6. And what I'm remembering is this particular cap on the last one holding a lot of heat, okay? So I'm not gonna peel it straight away. What I'm gonna do is just make sure that that cools down a little bit before I actually go to peel it, okay? Cool. This allows me just to grab the sticky tape on the side, and it shouldn't leave any residue or anything like that to your actual cap. What I could do is just grab just like that, okay, and get ready, and I'm letting this cool down. Now, Ultracolor Max, this is our DTF transfer. It's not an instant peel. You do want to wait that sort of 5, 6, 7 seconds, let it cool down a little bit before you start peeling, or you can actually peel it cold. You might find that that's a little bit easier, okay? What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get ready to peel that off, okay? Peel this end here, cool. And just peel it like that, okay? There we are. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this back under because I like the caps, like I said, just making sure that particularly with the seam, okay, the 6 panels, that we give it a second press, okay? Now, obviously the STX Hotronics press here that I've got, we can press transfer straight under the top plate. I'm not concerned or worried about putting anything else, not with the Ultracolor Max, and I'm gonna give that another 4 or 5 seconds to press. Cool, pop it up. There, and now what I've done is I know that every bit of the transfer is beautifully pressed into the fabric. I'm not going to have any issues with any of the small detail, and I can see the little bit that goes into the seam is pressed down into that seam right there. Again, really happy with that application on that cap. So guys, if you have any questions around pressing caps, if you're having trouble with placement and transfers maybe skewing on you, that sort of thing, just because of the work environment you're in, why don't you try out the Thermo Tape, which is the heat resistance tape. It just comes like a sticky tape roll, put it onto any sticky tape dispenser. We've got this one here, which is like a commercial heavy one, nice, and it's good to sort of sit around the workplace. That sort of thing doesn't move when you're sort of pulling on the actual tape itself. Perfect. Get yourself some Thermo Tape. Try that in your heat pressing whenever you're having trouble with a transfer maybe moving under the press. Guys, give us an email, phone call, check out our website. If you have any other questions, reach out to us.